Welcome to the Beantown Bully podcast. I'm your host, Basha. Today, my co-host is,
Connect Four. Chill.
and he's going to be leading us into today's topics.
The month of March has been a very interesting month. A lot has happened in the quote unquote hip hop community. Where can we start? Let's start off with the most recent. Jessica Hilarious, known for recently being one of the co-hosts of The Breakfast alongside of Charlemagne the God and DJ Envy. Their new co-host, a new fourth member, Loren from TMZ. Yeah, I guess last weekend, Jessica went on live, let everyone know her grievances, and she feels like there's been a lot of planning and play behind her back. She agrees with a lot of the comments that she's reading on a day-to-day basis, but when you think about it, wasn't she like on paternity leave for 6 months? She just got the job the middle of last year, and she got pregnant shortly after, purposely. She, in her own words. Everyone says Loren speaks better than her, is way more relatable, and when it comes to radio, speaking proper English and doing proper research, you can tell when this person's speaking on radio. We all know Jessica Hilarious is a social media phenom. You can't take that away from her. But in my opinion, that Loren lady that she specifically picked to help co-host The Breakfast Club while she was on paternity leave is doing such a better job than her.
So, how I feel about the situation is that I feel like she wasn't taking the job serious. She's not taking it as serious as she should be. She got a covenant spot that they've been running that machine for like 14, 15 years. So they've been locked in for quite a while. Angelique left and they had a new spot. Now Jess is being real messy with it. Jess with the mess. That was her little segment. She's being real messy with it. These are a lot of conversations that could have happened behind closed doors. She jumped out the woodworks to embarrass her co-host and her employer. I don't think they did anything egregious because Angelique said herself that they were looking for 2 more people to be on the show. Jess came in thinking she was the only one. If Angelique is correct in saying that, the plan always was for her knowledge that they were going to hire 2 people, she shouldn't have been bamboozled. But maybe that type of conversation didn't trickle down for her because she didn't need to know because she was an employee and she was a brand new employee. Now, intentionally getting pregnant, cool, do you. But you have to understand the predicament you put people in. Because Laura wasn't even a thing before you left.
Her name is Laura or Loren?
Laura.
Don't forget, just recently, what was the old co-host name?
Angelique. I was just saying.
Angelique just was interviewed, and she said there was always supposed to have a 4th.
I was saying that.
You said
I was actively saying all those things.
Angie, there was always going to be a 4th member?
Yeah, I said all that. Damn, you're in the same room. You're not even listening.
My bad.
That's crazy. I'm going to keep that in there just to show you how special you are. But anyway, yeah, if that was the plan at going forward and they didn't let her know, cool, but they're not. I don't think what really happened is she should have had a conversation with her employer and her co-host. That's what she should have did. She's making it seem like she had those conversations there. I was just listening to DJ Envy. He's like, yo, we have your back. You're making it seem like you're out here in the wind by yourself. When you came back, we expressed our love for you. We were talking you up. But then once you get off air, it's a whole different energy. You want to run to social media. I really think that this was a She didn't plan any of the things that she was doing. It was just so offhand. I just don't understand why she would even move like that in this position. Like she was, from what she said, she was touring. They were gonna move. They were gonna pull back her hours. That's what she said. They were gonna pull back her hours, but she was grabbing tour dates to do her comedic stuff. So she wasn't even 100% in. And if you're doing the show, everyone has to be in the building. Like, yeah, if they want to do the whole COVID style, you phone in and shit like that, yeah, they can do that. But I'm under the assumption that they wanted everybody to be in there together for the camaraderie and all that other stuff. So her picking up more shows to go do speaking event, comedy gigs, whatever she was doing in the background, it literally seems that she's unprofessional and she lucked up into a position she didn't know how to act. And if there was backbiting happening in the background, that may give her some type of reasoning. But from the outside looking in, if Angeli says there's supposed to be another it was supposed to be 4 altogether. If you're telling us that you picked Loren to be on the show, you bigged her up. When she's trying to big you up, you get some type of thing. Then you kind of technically belittling her on air, talking about hush, be quiet, da da da. Again, I don't know their relationship, but it seems like you're more backstabby. And Loren probably just playing like the white girl role and just concealing her backstabbiness and her resentment to you, but she's playing it so well that we can't be like, yo, she's actively doing something to you. Again, some things can be misconstrued, but there's not enough there to be like, yo, she was plotted against you from the very beginning. It doesn't look like that. And then you tell us that, oh, you bigged her up her show to give her own segment. And then if you did all that, why wasn't the co-host in the know about that? So when they say, oh, it's Jess with the mess, and it's Laura London's whatever her new segment is called, that she took your segment, why wasn't everybody on the same page? I just think it's like a real clusterfuck. Like, everyone's on there is being sloppy. How do you feel?
I don't think they're being sloppy at all. I think Jessica probably didn't read her entire contract because if Angie,
she's talking like she did read a contract.
No. She's only 33. I think she might have a high school degree, and she's from Baltimore. By the way she speaks, you can tell she doesn't read books. So reading a long, extensive contract. I'm not trying to assume, but reading a long extensive contract wouldn't be in her ballpark. And I'm pretty sure at the stage of the game, your lawyer's supposed to read the contract. My gripe is you get hired for, you know how before you get hired for a job that they ask you, do you plan to go on vacation, this, that, and the third? She literally got the job less than 4 months later. She got pregnant and she took maternity leave. So that in itself was kind of a breach of contract, because usually when they hire any job, especially any job that I've applied for, they always during interview they always ask me, do you foresee any vacation time, sick leave, because they're like, yo, we're hiring you and we want to get the ball rolling. We don't want you to take like a 2-week vacation in the middle of your 60-day or 69-day trial period. But I don't see any problem with Loren. She's the one that picked Loren, and that shows you that she does. One, it shows you that she doesn't have any maliciousness in her heart. But I think the comments and how true her position is just was like an eye opener, and she felt like she was way more protected. But at the end of the day, a job's a job. A contract can be broken on both ends, from the employer side and the employee side. Like, no one's safe. A job's a job. in life, you live and experience life long enough, you realize anybody and everybody is replaceable. So
She did come in, disrupted their whole thing. She was very sloppy.
I
It's
I feel like she didn't do a lot of research. I feel like
I don't think it's a lot of research. I just think that
she was doing research on live TV. You're supposed to do the research before you even come into work.
I think that she just signed it thinking that she was in. Maybe she did do some type of she glanced at it, but I think she went into the nitty gritty because that is very odd. You're in there for less than a year and then you're already taking off maternity leave. That's kind of crazy. But again, if they knew it in the back end, because the company's not saying, oh, we already knew she was pregnant or whatever the case may be. That it's wild. But she's acting like she's having a tantrum like all these rappers and artists when they sign a deal and then like they don't really understand the deal. But she's actively doing things that hurts her best interest because you're brand new and you're competing. DJ Emmy and Charlamagne the God, they're already grandfathered in. Angela Lee leaving, she left a void for a female voice to come through. So they're looking at everyone else is looking at her and Laura London to see if they can get to what they need to be like, all right, they made the right choices by hiring you. Because they might be in a probation period with her. She might not be they can't just outright sign her. I don't think she's big enough to be like, oh, we're just gonna outright sign her. I think it's literally she's probably on her probationary period and she's just acting a fool. Because what she's doing doesn't really make any sense. Now, yeah, she can be like, oh, this and this and this, and they kind of plot against me. But logically, it's like, all right, let's just look at the employer point of view. If we bring new talent on, less than a year, they get pregnant and they tell everybody they intentionally got pregnant. So I'm assuming we both have to assume that she told her employee, like, yo, I'm gonna get pregnant or I am pregnant. Da, 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 da. She had to tell them that when they were bringing her on. And if they had the four cause, else do you think was gonna bring the news up? Because Charlamagne was bringing the news up, but Charlamagne's also the comedic relief. DJ Emmy, he's DJ Emmy literally just speaks. So I think he just lucked up in being in the role because Charlamagne the God is a bigger draw than everybody else that was on the team. But I feel like them throwing her in because Charlamagne toned down the jokes. Bringing her newer face in, a female face, was a good option. They brought in another female. She's strictly business from what she was used to, from what it seems, doing things on her own, making her own way. When she finally got lucked up into this position, she didn't know how to act. That's my point of view on that. You got anything else to say about the story?
No, I mean, from what it seems like, they had like a meeting on live TV. They definitely profited from her live because I think Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday they went back to the story and tried to.
You know what? What if this is all a publicity stunt?
I'm thinking.
Let's think about that. Like, yo, Piggy's from what we know is like, Piggy's. It's like they're all in their lives. They talk about shit that's happening off air and shit. We're in their lives, so I think they're kind of building up. Like, oh, they really fuck with each other. There's real drama here. Da da da. So they might be doing this as a publicity stunt. Do they need it? I don't think so, but I feel like that's a better angle because she was out for a bit. Them having some little WWE to. How do we say? She can build off on her comedic stuff. Maybe she might make some jokes about it when she goes on tour. So it might work out for her. Maybe that's the play. That's it for me on this.
Me as well.
All right. You know what? C4 is the name. Connect 4 is alright, but C4
C4
is.